Hey everyone, it's Riya and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be how to make a wire Christmas tree. So to start, I got my equipment, and for this video I'll be using some green wire, some gold wire and a pair of scissors. So first I got my water bottle because it has a really good circular shape that I could use as a mold. So I got my green wire and I started wrapping it around the mouth of my water bottle. This is basically a way of creating a template for the circular shape that I'm going to be using as the base of my Christmas tree. So I kept wrapping that around and around until the wire was finished. I'm not quite sure how much wire I used, but it was definitely a lot. Then I took that off the water bottle mouth. As you can see, this is roughly the amount of wire that I used. Then I got the bottom and the two first sort of circular twisted round pieces of wire, I wrapped them together by twisting round the piece of wire around the one above it. So I just twisted that around and around so that my base was sort of tied together, if you know what I mean. By the way, this was the first time I had ever tried this craft, so the video is quite long because I wasn't quite sure what to do and I had to figure things out as I went along. So as you can see here, I'm trying to just press down the shape of it. And as you can see right now, it doesn't really look like a Christmas tree, it's more of just a cylinder-shaped wire. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make it smaller and smaller the closer to the top you get. Bit hard to explain, I know, but hopefully the video kind of shows what I was trying to do. So as you can see here, I'm sort of just curling around the wire so that it's getting smaller circles the further up you go. This is to create the height of the Christmas tree. So I'm just twisting it around. Then at the top I left a little sort of stick of wire just pointing upwards. You'll see why I need this later, but I definitely suggest having this piece stuck out at the top. This was definitely a lot of trial and error. I just had to see what worked, what didn't work, how to fix it, which is why this video is sort of just me playing around with the wire and trying to see how I could make it look like a Christmas tree. Every now and again I stopped and I just touched up all the things that didn't really look right. And again, I'm just pressing it down to hold the shape. As you can see, this time you can sort of tell where the wire is bigger and where it's smaller. And I just pulled it back up again. And like I said, you really just have to sort of try and touch it up where you can, sort of just shape it until you think it looks like a Christmas tree. I was really pleased with my end result of this. I thought it looked so cute, and I'll probably be making more in the future, like next Christmas. So once I was happy with the tree, I decided to go ahead and make the star. So for this I used about maybe 15 or 20 centimeters of gold wire. By the way, I'm using craft wire, so it's not the ultra thick stuff. It's just the craft wire that you can get at most craft stores. So So as you can see there, I was just showing that it's going to be attaching to that little stick that we left at the top. So I drew out a star and I cut off a bunch of pieces of masking tape or washi tape or whatever you call it. This looked really, really weird when I was creating it in this clip because it just looks like a bunch of tape stuck on top, but basically I was just using the tape to hold it down in place because obviously I have not got a billion fingers. So I was using the tape to help me guide the gold wire around the shape of the star. This clip here that I'm showing you, this was actually the third attempt at making the star. It failed so many times, it just did not look like a star, and then I came up with the idea of using this tape and it helped so much. So I just kept maneuvering that around and around until it fitted. Even though at the end it wasn't the perfect star, it definitely resembled one and it actually looked really good. So I just continued to stick down the wire with the tape. Which I did use a lot of. So once I was done, this doesn't really make sense. I kind of let it sit for like 5 minutes. I don't really know why I did that. It's not food, it's not gonna like settle or anything. But I did it anyway because why not? And then I just took off the tape, which was actually more fiddly than I would have thought. But luckily, because I used this masking / washi tape, it didn't, pull off my paper and make a mess. But anyway, I took it all off and I had this star shape. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, so I had to sort of touch it up a bit. And then, like I did with the Christmas tree, I wrapped around the wire that I had not folded into the star. I wrapped it around the star just so that it stayed in place and so that it didn't all come apart. When I say wrapped around, I'm talking about this sort of thicker curly piece of wire, and that is just the wire that I wrapped around. So next, using the 2 end sticks of wire from the tree and the star, I wrapped those together. When I say wrapped, I'm basically just twisting them into each other. And because this is wire, it was really easy to do. So I just kept twisting that round and round. And then I was done and it looked so cute, and after filming it did actually manage to stand up on its own without falling, which I'm very pleased with. But just make sure that you balance out the bottom, because that was what I realised was the problem when it wasn't standing up. And it came apart a couple of times, but it's wire, so you just unravel it and put it back together again. But yeah, like I said, I'm super pleased with how this craft went, and yeah, it just looks so nice and really Christmassy. And it's a really effective way of using any old coloured wire that you have, and it doesn't even have to be green and gold. You could do like a multicoloured Christmas tree, it would look epic. But yeah, that's it. And as you can see here, it did stand up sort of bent, but I fixed that afterwards. And here is how it looked on my shelf. Like I said in my previous video, I will be doing a video later on showing how I decorated my room. But for now, bye!